Yesterday, how was the program, sir?
Oh, great. But particularly, the first session also good about yoga and
Yeah.
spiritual, how to build up our strength, energy. Yeah, I'm practicing this yoga for the last
Oh,
many particularly meditation
yeah.
and the particular that XMP
Yes,
that
Sir
Mr.
Kamraj.
XMP. Yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Dr. Kamraj. Yeah,
yeah.
he's very great. He's
Yeah, he's
excellent.
a very outstanding doctor in Kalakurchi, sir.
Acha, acha. You see, he left his profession very long back, and he, you see, each and every tips of the COVID-19. He explains so simple, even lay person can understand. So
Yes,
I think, yeah, he is very great.
very good presentation, sir. That's why I invite him to give some points about the COVID-19. What are all the scientific aspects in COVID-19 and all? I asked him to
Yeah,
give to our students
yeah,
and
yeah,
also
yeah.
and to the public. That's why
Yes,
he's
right, right.
his patients are missing him while he was in the political line. Still, he is doing the political things here, but he
Uh,
has
uh,
been concentrated in the politics.
so
That's
what about his profession? He still sometime he works or some almost from the his profession, and he almost confined to his politics.
he's very busy in political lines. So he has
Uh-huh.
no time to
Uh,
do his profession. That is.
acha, acha, acha. So his political party is what is the name of his political party?
Yeah, ADMK, ADMK.
Oh, okay. Acha, acha,
But he has some
acha,
20
acha,
years of experience in the government hospitals, sir. And
acha.
he is the zone Doctors Association Secretary and also in
Yeah, right.
human some so for, in so many movements organizations he has.
I know from his experience, the way he talks. No, I could understand because he had long expertise in every aspect.
Yes, sir. He is an
Apart
expert.
from his, apart
Mm,
in many,
yeah,
in
yes,
many ways. Yeah, he's very good because very
yeah.
informative, knowledgeable, thoughtful. Yeah, he's great, excellent. I would get say he's excellent.
Yes, yes, yes.
Uh,
Yes, sir. Our fellow
yeah.
participants will also asked one more session from
Yes,
him,
yes,
sir.
yes. Please. Also, I would like to join the if you
Okay, sir. I will
as a
arrange one
participant.
more.
Yes,
One,
yes, yes, yes.
because yesterday was the World's Doctors Day, sir, and
Yeah, yeah,
that's why
yeah,
I
yes,
to invite him to give something
Y-
about
yes.
COVID-19. That's
Right,
why.
right, right, right.
So,
And my
uh,
talk would be very different from the yesterday. It is my pure academic. So people and somehow I will give very
no,
simple in order to understand. I think this is a very uh, new area in particularly in India. This subject is, but somehow I will try to give in a simple in order to understand. As our profession we understand, but particularly those students, I will try to give in the simplest way.
so let us wait for 5 minutes, sir. One
Yeah,
by one, the participants are joining. Uh,
okay,
in the
okay.
5 minutes, we will start, sir.
Yeah, 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 no problem.
Mm.
Changong masalam na mama.
Dear participants, please mute your audio because some disturbances has taken place. Okay, let us start, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah.
Yes. Good evening, one and all. I start the Day 2 International Webinar by express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Ma'am, Professor S. Thamare Chelvi, Registrar, Professor Syed Safi, COE, Professor Vijay Raghavan, our Thiruvalluvar University Constituent College's Director, Professor Dandapani, and the Head Professor Kadiresan and staff members of the Department of English, Thiruvalluvar University, Vellore, for encouraging people like me to conduct such webinars. At the outset, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome all the participants to this webinar, without whom the program would be nothing. You have all made me happy by your presence, and I feel honored. Welcome, all of you, and thank you. I welcome and thank the principal of our college in this occasion, and I welcome all of our college staff members. It is my duty to welcome and introduce our resource person, Dr. Ilangbam Hemanta Singh, Assistant Professor of English, GP Women's College, Dhanmanjurian University, Imphal, from Manipur. Today, our resource person going to give a talk on Introduction to Cultural Studies. Before that, I would like to give a brief note on the Introduction to Cultural Studies. Um, Cultural studies is a field of theoretically, politically, and empirically engaged cultural analysis that concentrates upon the political dynamics of contemporary cultures, its historical foundations, defining traits, conflicts, and contingencies. Cultural studies researchers generally investigate how cultural practices relate to wider system of power associated with or operating through social phenomena such as ideology, class structures, national formations, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender, and generation. Cultural studies views cultures not as fixed, bounded, stable, and discrete entities, but rather as constantly interacting and changing sets of practices and processes. The field of cultural studies encompasses a range of theoretical and methodological perspectives and practices. Although distinct from the discipline of cultural anthropology and the interdisciplinary field of ethnic studies, cultural studies draws upon and has contributed to each of these fields. Cultural studies was initially developed by the British Marxist academics in the late 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s, and has been subsequently taken up and transformed by scholars from many different disciplines around the world. Cultural studies is avowedly and even radically interdisciplinary and can sometimes be seen as anti-disciplinary. A key concern of cultural studies practitioners is the examination of the forces within and through which socially organized people conduct and participate in the construction of their everyday lives. As a result, cultural studies as a field of research is not concerned with the linguistically uncategorized experiences of individuals, or in a more radical approach holds that individual experiences do not exist but being always the result of a particular social political context. Cultural studies combines a variety of politically engaged critical approaches drawn including semiotics, Marxism, feminist theory, philosophy, literary theory, media theory, film video studies, communication studies, museum, etc., etc., to study cultural phenomena in various cultural studies seeks to understand how meaning is generated, disseminated, contested, bound up with systems of power and control, and produced from the social, political, and economic spheres within a particular social formation or conjuncture. Important theories of cultural hegemony and agency have both influenced and been developed by the cultural studies movement, as have many recent major communication theories and agendas such as those things taking place. So this is it. And though many scholars place of the origins of globalization in modern times, other trace history long before Green Age discovery. These are all taken place in the cultural studies. I know about the cultural studies level only, sir. So whatever I know about the cultural studies, I have given as a brief audience, and we expect some more points from you and make this session informative and interesting. Please welcome sir and give your points. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Sangeeta. You have given all the points. I think I don't have any point to give to add. You give all the introduction, all the points, and brief synopsis about the cultural
Yes, sir.
study. So
I have already sent the brief points which you have given in the group,
yes,
sir.
no. Why do you mention? Why do you mention? It should be between us to give. All right,
No, sir.
okay.
Still knowledge I have in cultural studies, sir, but you don't have.
Okay. We are all in the same platform. We are all learning, and as you know, as a tradition, when we did our PG, we don't have come across such theories. So we are all learning at this stage, beginner. Okay, thank you, Madam Sangeeta, giving this opportunity as a resource person. First of all, I would like to thank the VC register and his whole team of the university. I don't have a list of, but of the University of Tirubala University, BC register and his whole team, entire team. And the second, I would like to thank the principal, Dr. S. Mohandas, and the last but not the least, Dr. L. Sangeeta, HOD, and the convener of this program, series of program conducting for last 1 month. And the fellow participant, I am like you. I'm just what I know, just sharing as a my point of view. So, as you know, cultural studies, it is very difficult to give concrete definition, as Madam just while now she gives about the some points. So it is a very new approach, comparatively new approach to the study of literature and culture. So literature, as you know, in approach and a culture. So it is interdisciplinary in one sense. And about the main objective of cultural studies is doing analysis about the mass culture, or other word we call it popular culture. So what do you mean by popular culture and mass culture? It is no, as we seen popular culture, or in other term, low culture. So as it carries, as you know, as we consider high culture, which are mega narrative or grand narrative, we are for the last many years we are descending the grand narrative theory. So this is something like marginalized culture, which are very popular, very popular. I would like to call it very popular. So popular culture is considered like a low culture, but as a in everyday life, we are all enjoying this in terms of number of people. Say example, I just give you to understand. Say popular music. Let me give you in the just about the how it comes in the 70s, 1970s. In this period, we all come across in the 70s. Maybe in the youngest, maybe not, but in our period, that time disco, rap, and the so many type of song, and even the commercial Hindi, or maybe Bollywood, or any these film songs. also called a popular culture because people enjoy in a large manner in everyday life. Just I'm giving just one example about the music and about the comic books. As you know, the comics very popular in those days in the period of before this. Now we have all this TV and all. That time it was not there. So that also comic also very popular. And then another is graffiti. As you all know, the graffiti, uh, something drawing on the surface of the world, public places. That was very popular in the 70s. So this kind of culture, which is very, very popular, and that behind this popular culture, there is a production and the consumption. So because consumption, because behind this production and consumption is playing and it is a logic behind. So that is the point we are going to study. Your cultural studies is not going to study of the aesthetic point of view because cultural studies just trying to point out those we are all in a masses everyday life and people enjoy, people consume and the production. Because who products? Because if you say example, film, commercial film, it is because of demand. Who demand? But not up to the say popular culture of the you see mass cinema, Hindi film, maybe South Indian, maybe Western. But if you compare to the art film, art is signified as a high culture. So this is how we are studying because ignoring the masses movement of assumption or consumption, but in the place of the dignity binary theory is applied. So this one point I just to give. And about the culture. So I will come later on how cultural studies was born. I will come later part. So there's two or three groups who term it because there is no uniformity of using this term. Because I used in this topic, I use cultural studies because I am using the British cultural studies for this topic. But some group of critics use culture studies. Okay, but I use cultural studies. But another group of critics, okay, use it cultural materialism. More or less, everything is sense, everything is a term is equal, similar, but there is no uniformity of using the term to describe this school of criticism. So as a nature by itself is there is no definitive in nature, and it doesn't deal with universal. And even it doesn't have a certain characteristics, no specific methodologies or theories, no fixed frame, most of analysis. So, but it is a popular, because using popular culture as a medium of this study, because the main concern of this cultural study is popular culture. So whatever the popular culture define is opposing the grand narrative. This is how the cultural study, because for the last many years this popular culture is ignored as a inferior. This is the point. So now I will come to so there is what it does for cultural studies. So it doesn't have any uniformity among the term described. So it doesn't provide answer for this cultural study doesn't provide to cultural problems because it only causes or it only creates debates or dialogues over the problem, over problem. But it helps us through these cultural studies. It helps us to understand undercurrents of cultural system. So under the cultural system, there is a value, because culture is what? We believe, okay? There's tradition, institution. What is the culture? Because, say example, we have a, say example, when we go to any ritual places or for wedding, what we do? We have to wear a particular dress, alright? Or particular pujas, alright? So this is our belief. Okay, behind there is costume, what we use or dress, there is a production. So we consume and use it. So there is some sort of belief, that is why our culture is being. So this is our culture, but behind there is a power, because somebody is imposing us to believe. This is the point we have to find out. So as you know, I have already told, this cultural study is anti-institutional, okay, lastly interdisciplinary. So it involves literature, sociology, history, anthropology, and gender studies. Sorry. So in this sort of disciplinary is involved in cultural studies. So in doing what? To inquiry or to analyze different sort of, so particularly in academic or maybe in non-academic. So applying what type of theories? Contemporary theories. Because this school is supported by theories, many theories. Say Marxist thought is one example. Then post-structuralism, postmodernism, post-colonialism, feminism. So analyzing how it is between this culture, what is there? Is there any behind in these values? Because culture is values. That set of things, set of systems, set of values. So this value behind, what is there? So there is any power relationship to play it, because in the culture we find a binary theory. So binary theory, as you know, I have mentioned about the Marxists. There's a post-structuralism. So all sort of contemporary theories applied in this cultural state. That is why it is called interdisciplinary. sorry. So this is about just giving some sort of idea about the cultural, what is culture or cultural studies. So now I come to the how it was born. As you know, just before how it was born, actually it was born in 1964. Okay, so 1964 is it is the year of cultural study was born in at the University of Birmingham in England. So before that, I just want to bring little bit idea about this how it was born. So let me just okay. So it was born in the year 1964 with the help of Professor of English Richard Hogarth. Very important is 1964. So with the help of Professor of English at University of Birmingham, England. So before it was born, this particular discipline is an academic discipline at the University of Birmingham. This Professor of English, Richard Hogarth, okay. So he invited in this year, he invited his fellow, one very eminent critics, maybe professor of sociology called Stuart Hall. So he called Stuart Hall to join this cultural studies. He invited him to join this discipline as a faculty member. All right. So he invited, and Stewart joined this uh, center, cultural center, and these two started as an academic discipline and postgraduate research center at the University of Birmingham. And how to run this discipline at the university? So very interesting. So Richard Hogarth, before this 1964, he published one book called Uses of Literacy, 1957. So he got some royalty, some amount, with some big amount. I don't know how much he got, but he could run this discipline very comfortably. Even if you have to pay the salary of Stuart Hall. So he ran this, but only these two cannot run. So how he did? Because at that moment, 1964, before little bit earlier, 2-3 years, there was some books published by the one professor of English at Cambridge University called Raymond Williams. Please note down, this Raymond Williams was a very important figure. I will name these 4 founding fathers. This is the 4 founding fathers of the cultural study in England. So Raymond Williams is also one of them. So he also published 2 books before this 1964. So he himself is a professor of English at Cambridge University, and he published 2 books before the 1964. Culture, then another book is Long Revolution, 1961. These 2 books he published. This is 2 books, and another, these 2 books is there, and the Richard Hogarth's 1 book is there. Now we have 3 books, very important for building up the cultural studies. Then another, he is not a professor, but he is an activist. Now we call a social activist, but in that time was not social activist. He is a political activist, social historian also. So E.P. Thompson is a very eminent activist. Okay, so he also published 1 book before the 1964. Just 1 year before the 1964, he published 1 book called The Making of the English Working Class, 1963. So we have 4 books. All right. So these 4 books is very important for foundation of the cultural studies in England at the Birmingham School, and this Birmingham Contemporary Cultural Studies. All right. So this is how was born cultural study. But behind this there is some behind. Please, interesting to note, because in 1964, just keep in mind why this Richard Hogarth and Raymond Williams and Stuart Hall and the E.P. Thompson, they were doing so enthusiasm to set up a disciplinary core cultural studies. Let me just give you little bit idea about Richard Hogarth and Raymond Williams, why they want to set up this discipline as an academic discipline. You see, this Richard Hogarth and Raymond Williams, they came from the very poor working class families. I think they are the first generation university students in their families. Then I think you will understand, because they are coming from very poor working class families, and they have to reach to the university and become a professor. You just imagine, from the humble family to the academic professor. All right. So they found during their study, you see, their culture. Let me tell you, their culture means they are working class, living in a poor rural family. They don't have any high culture. All right. So they have no role in the literary studies program Oxford University or Cambridge University when they during their studies. See, they felt a certain alienation. You know the alienation, even though they are British, but they feel alienation because they don't find any of the common people's culture in the academy. All right, that is the point. Say that is the point. So they feel why culture only for studying the high class, high culture. I will come later on with example. You will understand why this culture study is so interested in the popular culture because these two professors and other I have mentioned another Stewart and E.P. Thompson was you see even I will give example even today itself also how we enjoy how many of us know about the Shakespeare's play even common level I'm talking about the common how many of us only few selected like we are teaching profession only we know but the rest how many of them know about the T.S. Eliot or maybe Shakespeare, maybe whoever you just mentioned. How many of them know about Rabindranath Tagore's play, poetry, or maybe anyone you take it. So this is how come the idea of setting up academic discipline, the cultural studies. This is what this is their point of perspective I'm giving. But in the 70s, at that point of period in the particularly in the Europe and the Western, particularly in the 60s and 70s, there was a movement, huge movement, social movement. Just give me one example. In the 60s, particularly in England, UK, there was widespread TV. Now we have a TV in everywhere. Even household we have TV, isn't it? So the 60s in the UK, there's TV. Because TV, television. So viewers were so used. But if what the viewers want, you are watching TV because they have love to see so many interesting serial must be there. But whose serial must be common people's interest. So TV watching is very popular in the UK. Listening music also very popular. But what type of music you understand? If you want to sell which one will be popular because if I send modern song or a classical who will buy at a, and who will buy classical only few selective I don't say this is good or this is bad I'm talking about the common sense all right so popular culture is such people enjoy in a large number but when you come to the academic point of view, this popular culture ignored. All right, give impure or low class, low culture. That is the point. So this is how in the 60s everyone is enjoying popular culture and the popular music, play and so on. So at that time also in the 60s and then 70s, you see there is a huge movement about the identities, particularly gay culture, anti-racist, feminism. All right. So in the 60s and 70s in the Western society, there is a mass movement against the elite culture. All right. So that is the period of the cultural movement, particularly the popular cultures movement is very popular. All right. So another book I would like to mention is very important book. So this also is something like a very helpful to understand how these two, particularly I just mentioned this Richard Hoggart and Raymond William, these two eminent founder of the cultural studies in England. These two people, they are influenced, particularly in this book. Okay, then I am going to give this book. Dialectic of Enlightenment. This book is published in 1947 by Theodor Andrew and Max Hoppe. So this book is very popular because these two authors, they came from Germany during the Nazi period. So when Hitler came into power, they escaped from Germany and they settled in the United States of America. So they published this book called Dialectic of Enlightenment in 1947. Just I want to quote so that we can understand what is behind and influence to this particular, this founder of two, this Richard Hogarth and Raymond Williams and Stott Hall, whoever were inclined to the Marxist thought, whoever Marxist thought inclined, this book influenced to the general masses. Because these books, I just want to quote what these two authors mentioned in this Dialectic of Enlightenment. So I will quote this few lines, not long. Movies and radio need no longer pretend to be art. So see, movies and radio need no longer pretend to be art. So now they are these two medium, this culture, this movies and radio no need longer to be called art. So they cannot be called. Why? The truth that these movies and radio are just business. They are doing business. It's made into an ideology. Whatever these movies, through radios, produce, all right, ideology in order to justify the rubbish they deliberately produce. Because through this medium, this culture, movies and radio, whatever produced, it is for business, sake of business. So they cannot be called art. Because art means high class, high illiterate, elite class. So these movies are playing a sort of game to make it foolish public. But in behind, they are making profits. So they cannot be called art. So from this point of view, the public and masses are influenced. So now I give it some idea about how the cultural study was born. Now I will come to just let me just want to remind in 1982. Very interesting. America and UK is very interesting country. You see how 1964 is the cultural study was. Then it comes 80s, just beginning of 1980s, so 1982. So there is a open university in UK. Okay, so this university offer, because due to the influence of the popular cultural studies, so people demand to study. So this open university offer a 1-year interdisciplinary course on popular culture. Okay. So this university offer a directorships for this courses. This university offer Stewart Hall, call him to join this university as a professor and director to conduct this. So Stewart came from after he left the Birmingham University, and he joined the Open University in UK as a professor and director of this course. So you see, you can't imagine, you must be surprised to know how many students apply for this course. For more than 5,000 took the courses for this Open University. In the Open University, this more than 5,000 students took this cultural studies, particularly popular culture, also called cultural studies. Okay, so who are they in the team at the university, Open University? Just give you some names. Tony Bennett, very important figure. When we come across the cultural studies, Tony Bennett, we cannot ignore uh, he- his essay. Then Terry Eagleton, very important figure when you come to the post uh, structuralism. Then Raymond Willem and others. So this is how the institute open, the Open University also open this popular culture. So in the ITs from 60 to 80 is very popular, and now it comes everywhere. This even the India also we have very this course is very popular. Even the department, the name of the department of some of the universities has been changed. Okay, I will not go to that area. Now, let me come to some of the eminent critics giving their opinion about the culture. Okay, what is culture means in the cultural studies. Okay, so I am just giving one or two eminent critic their opinion. I'm sharing here. So there is one important figure, John Frakes. He's an eminent British, and he left the Britain, and he joined the Australia University, and he settled there. So he wrote one article called British Cultural Studies and Television. So in this article, in this essay, John Frakes is an eminent cultural studies. He is a very important figure. So he said, I just got here. Culture is neither aesthetic nor humanist in emphasis, but political. So what is mean? What it does mean, he's saying, because culture study is not aesthetic. What we literature doing research is aesthetic humanist point when we go through research of the text, literary point of view. But cultural study is not that. Cultural study is we are not looking aesthetic or humanist point of view, but we are looking political. What is behind the culture is politics. That is the power. So this is the point to highlight the cultural study. So every culture has its own behind some sort of meaning, ideology. So this is cultural study trying to hunt, trying to find out where is this text. This text of the culture is this. So this is how the cultural study is trying to find and try to highlight. So this is one. So he said, culture is neither aesthetic nor humanist in basis, but political. So it means culture equality. So every culture is behind industry materialism, because what is behind a culture, everyone, maybe you see in a culture, you see whatever culture that is behind a industry. So there is production and consumption. So in culture, just give me one, I just give you in the Indian context. When we do our particular, say, I'm not giving any sort of my personal opinion here. I'm not going to cite anyone. So what is cultural does, just I'm trying to see. So culture you see in political point of view or the industrial point of view. This is Marxist thought, because these people mostly critic. They are influenced by the Marxist thought. Okay, particularly Althusser, maybe take Roland Barthes, Terry Eagleton, whoever. So they influenced by all these eminent critics. They are all Marx. They are inclined towards to Marxist thought. So Marxist thought is always looking about this production and consumption. Who are consumption? We. The general people are consumption. So when we say example, why we are buying mobile phone? Why we are buying? You see, every household we have refrigerator, right? We have, without refrigerator we can't do it, right? We have washing machine, we can't do without washing machine. without TV, without sofa. So this is what is part of our life. This is also culture, right? And this who playing this? Because when we people are consumption, we are demanding, and then there is politics. Yeah, politics in one sense, we should not look only about vote. I'm not talking about. So when we election, just give me, we are getting some sort of benefit, all right? So there are also culture or politics behind. So this is how our culture, because he said, this John Frick said, culture is nothing, a way of living within industrial society. So we are living a sort of culture. Our life is in daily, our life of daily consumption and production. Within this, we are living and we are producing culture. So this sort of his point of view. So John Frick's point is culture is nothing, a way of living within industrial society. So this is about John Frick's. Now I will share another critic, Raymond Williams' view on culture. He said, it's a particular way of life. So culture is what? A particular way of life. Whether of a people. So what type of way of life? Of a people or a period or a group. So culture is a way of life. So culture is ordinary. All right. That means culture is ordinary. Every human society has its own shape, because behind culture, each and every group has own shape, own society, their own culture, because there is a purpose, there's a meaning. Even through institution, through arts, through learning. So we are imposing our culture through institution, through arts. All right. So that means culture is an inclusive. So it refers, say, example, what about the culture? Which culture is you are going to play? So culture means within the society, it creates. So it is inclusive. Because, say, buying TV or buying refrigerator or doing in a cultural program, a grand form of celebration is all culture, right? So behind that, when we do a celebrate in a grand manner, it involves of production and consumption. So when we go for a picture, so picture also there is a reflecting of our daily life, right? So this is playing us. Behind the culture is playing politics, identity. Sorry. So culture is nothing but is a way of life behind the industrial society. So this is a production and consumption. Culture is nothing because we believe. Why are we going to believe us? Because some sort of imposed to us. All right. So culture imposed to us in a particular society, particular group. All right. So this culture imposes to us, but behind there is a politics. There is some sort of playing to us, and this playing is nothing to product and consumption, because this general population is like a consumption and production, because when the industry, how to live, how to survive the industry, all right? Without consumption, industry cannot survive, because this is why therefore they produce. Go through what? Through radio, film ads, all right? Through television. In the I think most of the general public, you see in the TV serial how they do sort of serials. They are using costume, beautiful, okay? And even the film also, we love to see particular film. Why? Because it reflects the common people. All right. So this is how. What is this behind? Because consumption and production. So this nothing. Because culture is nothing but way of life playing behind politics and to get profit. Right. So this is culture. Nothing. In that point, culture looks not an aesthetic point of the text, cultural study looks. So this is how culture defined by various critics. So I will come with some examples so the people will, the participant will understand. Madam, still I have a time. Hello, hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Should I
Yes, you
continue?
continue.
There are a
Yeah,
lot of
continue.
yeah, I will continue. There are many points I lay about. If I conclude here, and then I would not be happy too.
With
So
pleasure. Continue, sir.
yeah. Okay. So now I will give some example that will be understood more clear. With example, I will give you about a culture. Say, sorry. Let me give you one example about the uh, say paintings. Okay, I will give you a paintings. Say, for example, paintings by Leonardo da Vinci. I think many of us know Leonardo da Vinci, the, you know, Mona Lisa, you know. So these paintings by Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Pablo Picasso, M.F. Hussein. You see, how do we consider the paintings by this great artist? We consider great, classic, right? Elite culture. All right, these paintings by Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Pablo Picasso, M.F. Hussein, we consider this is a very great art, classic. All right. Number two, I would put another example. Say the works about written text, okay, of Homer. Homer work we all learn, okay, about the Odyssey, Sophocles, Oedipus Rex, Plato, Aristotle, Linguist, Dante, William Shakespeare, John Milton, Rabindranath Tagore. You see, the works of these great writers we consider classic, right? Tagore. Then I will bring about the music. Tansen, Big Band, Beethoven, Ravi Shankar, Bhimsen Joshi, Jairaj, M.S. Subbulakshmi, M. Balakrishnan, Lata Mangeshkar. So these artists, singers or instrumentalists, these artists are of music. They produce, we consider classic. All right. So then again, I will bring about the films. Films of Dadas Saib Phalke, Satyajit Ray, Raj Kapoor, Bimal Roy, Guru Dutt, Sam Benigal, Mani Ratnam, Gulzar, S.S. Rasmond, they produce such a great movies, all right? We call it classics, all right? But who call it? Who classify this classic? Huh? So this is the point. What about the rest? Who also we have a great painters apart from this M.F. Hussein or Michelangelo. What about others? What about the uh, great writers apart from Rabindranath Tagore, apart from Shakespeare? All right. So who classify, who distinguish, who make it binary theory? This. That is one example. So those left out but popularly enjoyed, this is called popular culture. But you see, in terms of popular, we enjoy. But when you come to the classification, it comes to the what you call law of popular culture. That was the point of study of cultural studies. So this is one example. Again, I will give you with a very left of, but people enjoy mostly. Last people of people, I would say, last public, many of them, I think, enjoyed this. Let me give you one example. Sidney Sheldon, okay, he's a very popular writer. Then Mills and Boone, I think many of them come across this series of novels. People love it, enjoy it Marsney, Agatha Christie, Saturn Baggett. Saturn Baggett is now very popular. Okay, Dan Brown is very popular. So they consider what their work is considered. Their works are considered what low culture or popular culture, but their work is not included in the syllabus. Syllabus in the prescribe of the any undergraduate or maybe in the university syllabus. This writer, I just giving one example. Bill examples. Do we have find any of this Sydney Salton's work is there? Chatton Buggan's work is there in the university syllabus? No. So, but it enjoyed largely by the people. So this is why. That is the point. So who will decide and how it decides? So this is the point of study of cultural studies. So this is some of the point I have mentioned about the study of the culture. So let me bring about some about the some good example I will give you. Okay, cultural studies. Okay, okay. Then let me ask one question. Why are I'm asking to the participants, my dear participant, fellow participant, why are Agatha Christie, Sidney Sheldon, Milan Bulls not prescribed or studied in English department? Yeah, this is the question I am putting to the participant. And most of people read these Mills and Bulls rather than the Shakespeare or Run Bartis, right? Whether you agree or not, I'm not going to seek you, but many of them we come across. If you number of selling, number of production, number of the books read by public, if you compare, I think Mills and Bulls are far more reading of the general public. William Shakespeare, how many of us are not among the teaching profession? I mean, among the general masses and the public. So Mills and Bulls are people are reading. Chetan Bhagat is reading. But when you come to the academic, their space is there's no space for them. So why? This is the point. This is why is asked by the cultural studies. Why? Why the Saturn Bhagat? Or even I will ask you Sakuntala by Kalidasa. Okay, I'm asking what the Sakuntala by Kalidasa is it prescribed in the syllabus? No. Saturn Bhagat? No. So there's a lot of local contemporary Indian literature. This is not prescribed in the English. So that is the point of the, rather than is prescribed Amitav Ghosh, Mahesh Dattani. I'm not criticizing any of this writer. I'm just asking why. Because many of the mentioned about the some of the writers, but their works are, you see, people's demand. They are great because people lastly read of this particular I mentioned about Agatha Christie, or maybe Sidney Sheldon, or maybe Mills and Bloom, or maybe any other contemporary writers, say youngsters or Saturn Bhagat. I'm giving one example. So general public are reading their works rather than the eminent, those who are prescribed in the academics. So why do politicians influence public not to cast? Let me give you an example. This is very popular in the Bihar. Why do politicians influence public? Caste, but cast your vote. Why? Because caste system is culture, right? So this is how culture plays. And another one is, let me give you one example, one more example. What are the economics and political implications of creating special outlets and exhibitions? So let me tell you, say there is a ground festival organized by the maybe government or government agency. Okay, we organized in a grand manner of cultural mega fest. Hotel maybe in a good grand manner, but behind, who is going to buy it? Only elite people would buy, right? Elite people will purchase. You see everywhere when you go to any big shopping mall, or you will find tribal cultures artifact